thank you all. Wow, there's a lot of people here. All right. That's outstanding. Hey, I am Bret Champion, the proud superintendent of schools in Klein ISD. And yet, the reality is as Marcy and I were sitting in that front row, I was taken back to where I grew up in Goldthwaite, Texas, which we didn't cover in all the degrees that I have. Goldthwaite, Texas is about 100 miles north of Austin. It's got about 2,000 people in it. So you think about any of our high schools in Klein ISD, they have about 4,000 students. Can you imagine 4,000 human beings in one big space? It's unreal. So I grew up in Goldthwaite, Texas, about 2,000 students, but every Sunday, every Wednesday, I was at First Baptist Church, Goldthwaite, Texas. Right there, my mother, Linnell Champion, made sure of that. And so my Baptist bones are strong, friends. My Baptist bones are strong. I am so honored to get to stand in front of you today. And I'm going to talk just a little bit about actually what we talked about earlier in y'all's big giant worship center. Every place I go at Champion Forest Baptist Church, I'm blown away at like how big the spaces is. I will tell you the truth. I will tell you the truth. So we had our great big welcome. Let's hear a shout, all those Klein ISD folks out there. I know y'all are here. I see. Come on. There's Sue Blackman back there. Hey, Sue. So much fun today. Excuse me. And it was great. And I knew I was coming this evening to this space. Again, remember my context is Goldthwaite, Texas. So whenever I'm told we're going to do a back-to-school pep rally at the Family Life Center? At the Family Life Center in Goldthwaite, that looks like what we called the youth center, which was about as big as like half this section right here. And so I was walking in with Marcy, and I'm trucking along. I'm thinking I'm going to have a handful of kids and a few adults around. And I said, this is this is not exactly a pep rally that I was thinking of. So I am thrilled that you are here. I am thrilled. We had Chris and we had Avery open us up today over at the Klein kickoff, and both of them talked about how y'all as a church are covering all the schools in y'all's area, and it's just incredible where y'all are located in prayer, and how much we appreciate that and celebrate that, and we're so touched that you continue with this incredible partnership. I'll tell you, one of the very first people I met, Dr. Fleming just alluded to it. I met with Dr. Trammell and Dr. Fleming within my first week I was here. They were right on top of we need to visit with Klein ISD. And so this relationship has been strong for a very long time. But tonight, I actually want to spend some time talking about the district, Klein ISD. And I recognize that there are other districts and homeschools and private schools, and that's cool, that's great. But I got to bring my context, right? And that's where I am. That's who I am. That's what I'm about. So I'm going to share a couple of things that we touched on at the Klein kickoff today. And so those who were there, you're going to get a repeat of some of those things. Yes, thank you all for your patience. But I wanted this community to know the important role you play in the district that I get the joy and pleasure to serve. And then I want to spend just a second talking to all the students in the room, really kind of fleshing out a bit that just came up in the verse from 1 Timothy about what does that even look like, and then we'll close tonight. Does that sound pretty straightforward? Excellent. Good. Y'all just do this or something. I'll take anything from the audience, y'all, like for real. Great. That's fine. Great. Thank you. All right. So first off, Klein ISD. We're about one thing in Klein ISD and one thing only, and that is this. Do we have those slides? If not, no worries. I can go right from there. And Klein ISD, there it is. Thank you. Right in the middle. Klein ISD, we're about one thing, and that is that every student enters with a promise and exits with a purpose. Every student enters with a promise and exits with a purpose. These are tremendous words for us. And there are three particular ones, if you'll hit the next slide, please. There are three particular ones that I want to touch on real briefly tonight that I think go right in line with every school and every kid and every parent and community member that we've got. And that's every and promise and purpose. And I'm going to take them in reverse order. I want to start with purpose. This idea of every student exiting with a purpose is so powerful for us as a school system. This idea that whenever you walk across the stage at graduation, you're not just walking across the stage into who knows what, but you're walking across the stage into something, right? And that is the idea that what we call pathways in the district. And so we're going to celebrate several things. One of them tonight, though, is this. We have a great partnership with Lone Star College Tomball, where our students are going to be able to enter with Lone Star College Tomball as high school students at Klein High School right up the road. And they're going to, there we go Bearcats. And those students are going to be able to exit when they get their high school diploma. They're going to get their associate's degree simultaneously, ready to hit the nursing ground. It's a nursing pathway. That's very exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff. You know, as we heard in the Proverbs today, that notion of train up a kid on the way that he's going to go. I was thinking about that for my mother, making sure I was at church every Sunday and Wednesday. Well, it's true in the school system too, in terms of you train folks up to where you need them to go. And so we celebrate that idea of exiting with a purpose in Klein ISD. Real quickly, the idea of entering with a promise. This one is so easy to understand because we know what it's like, parents, am I right? To send our precious darling 5-year-olds or 18-year-olds, as the case may be. I know we have some moms and dads who have their kids are going off to college. And you see those kids as entering with this promise that they have inside of them, right? I mean, that's who we send to our schools. We don't send just random people. This is our pride and joy. And so in Klein ISD, we celebrate that and recognize that every kid who walks in the door enters with promise. The double meaning of that, then, is for us as adults in the system, we embrace them with promise. We have a promise that we make to them, which is that we're going to keep you safe, we're going to make sure you get the best quality education you can get, and we're going to see you as a human being. As a human being. We've talked a long time today, thank you, a long time today about building relationships and the importance of that in our classrooms every day. And that, yes, curriculum's important, but let's face it, y'all, if we are not embracing our students as human beings, we're missing the boat of what we're about in education, right? And then the last word, the word I want to end on for our shared vision is every. And this, I will say, from that first meeting that I had with Dr. Fleming and Dr. Trammell, this church embodies something I have never seen before. And y'all know it. Y'all know it. I mean, it was like going to a Spanish lesson for me just singing the songs a while ago. I mean, that was just amazing. Who does that? I mean, who does that? It's amazing. It's amazing. Literally, this idea of the shadow of the steeple being a resonating factor of who sits in the chairs or the pews is amazing to me. And to me, for us in Klein ISD, there is a clear tie to this idea of every in our shared vision. Because let me tell y'all, it's real easy to focus on the good kid. It's real easy to focus on the one kid that just kind of like stays in line and blows a bubble in his mouth. Teachers, you know what I'm talking about, bubbles in their mouths and that sort of thing. And it's not always the easiest thing to work with that kid who is a challenge, who maybe comes to us speaking a language you've never heard of before, who comes to us with amazingly difficult discipline things because of the house that kid is coming out of. But let me tell you what we're about in Klein ISD. We literally do this. We open our arms to every student who walks in the door. And I will say that now, right now, at this time in our nation's history, we all need to stand up and say we embrace everyone who walks in the door, because that's what we've got to be about. Every single one. Every single one. So that's our shared vision I get very fired up about about it. And so I'm going to switch real quick to talk to students about one piece that we talked about today, and that's going to be so important as we move forward as a school district. And that is a document that we've created that started, I love this, it started with a conversation at a kitchen table between two kids and their mom. And the mom asked, hey, what is it you need to do and be able to, what is it you need to know and be able to do when you graduate from Klein ISD? And the kids came up with this cool list that includes things like be joyful, and the mom really liked this one, obey. She loved that. The idea that you need to think of, there was an attitude of gratitude was in the list. I mean, these are cool things. These are really cool things. They weren't about test scores. They weren't about like particular things that we as educators sometimes get caught up in. They were about being full human beings who were really living into what we heard about in 1 Timothy, that notion of being solid humans who are taking care of other humans and what that looks like. And so we said, this is such a great idea. We pushed that out to all of our families in Klein ISD. We did something called Table Talk, and we got thousands of responses to that question. And from that, we developed this document. There it is, our Klein ISD Profile of a Learner. I realize you cannot see that from where you are. Again, remember my context. I thought it was going to be this many people. So it was going to be no problem for us. But in that, I will tell you about the big four ideas. I said earlier that we as adults make promises to kids. To me, these big four ideas are the promises we're making to you, students. We're saying to you, students, in Klein ISD, we want you to be able to be successful on a test, sure, but you are much more than a test score to us. We want you to be a pathway explorer. We want you to be an equipped scholar. We want you to be a values-driven leader. And we want you to be, we want you to be a forever learner. Please be a forever learner. I tell you what, now one moment, because I must make this editorial comment because it's on my mind and in my heart. I tell you, the worst thing that high-stakes testing has done in our schools is it has taken curiosity and wonder out of our classrooms so much. And so we have got to bring that back and say to teachers and to students, it's okay to be curious. It's okay to wonder and to think and to brainstorm and have great ideas and do those things. And we are excited about these four strands of our profile of a learner. But I want to focus first I'm going to focus on one section of that. There it is. Yep, thanks. Y'all are awesome back there. Can I just say, everybody I've worked with at Champion Forest Baptist Church has been awesome. It's so true. Whether it's my headphone or the slides or anything else, thank y'all for your amazing work. Thank you. So I want to focus on this one section, which is values-driven leader. I think this will resonate. This idea that we want our students to exit being unwaveringly committed to serving the greater good by, and there's a whole bunch of things. The second one says, thinking we, not me. I love that one. I love that, thinking we, not me. But I really want to focus on the last character traits that are down there at the bottom. Being grateful, being kind, being joyful, being honest, and being selfless. Let me say those again. Being grateful, being kind, being joyful, being honest, and being selfless. As I think about this church and the students who were just up here singing, the ones up here and all those kids up there, I think about students that if you were to walk into your classroom, whether your classroom starts this week or next week or 2 weeks thereafter, and you had these 5 traits in front of you all the time, these values in front of you all the time, the idea of being grateful. I mean, y'all, this is real simple. We're going to literally practice this together. We're going to pretend I handed you a hamburger because I'm hungry. So I'm going to say, I'm going to hand you a hamburger, and here's what you say, crowd. You're going to say, thanks or thank you. Ready? I hand you a hamburger. Beautiful. Look at that. That's an attitude of gratitude. Give yourselves a hand. Attitude of gratitude. Really good. Honestly, it is that simple. It's everything that we receive. We are so blessed. It's saying thank you for those pieces. Super simple thing to do, an amazing value to have. Kind. Today, as we were cleaning up from the Klein kickoff, we had several big props, and I had several students who were helping do the presentation. And I looked over, and this kid was carrying, we had these big P2P, promise to purpose letters, and he's carrying this thing. It's like bigger than he is. And I said, who asked you to do that? He said, nobody. We're moving stuff out. We're just moving stuff out. So that's the idea of stepping in without being asked. That's what kindness is all about. Pretty straightforward stuff. Joyful is one I love. I love joy, because how much easier is it to smile than it is to frown? Am I right, people? Here's a chance for you to do that now. Go ahead and smile right now. That'd be great. Excellent. Thank you. That's beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. But having the best attitude of anybody in the room is something that everyone can strive for. Can you imagine what would happen to our world if that were true? Like, we're trying to outdo each other with joy. I mean, we're gonna drop the mic on joy. Yeah, that's what we're about. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? It'd be incredible. It'd be incredible what we're doing with and for each other, which leads beautifully into the idea of selfless, that what matters most is all of us, not just me. Oh, please. What matters most is all of us, not just me. This idea that we have the heart of a servant, right? That resonates. Yes, the heart of a servant. The idea that we are always about serving the people with whom we are standing beside, the people that we get the opportunity to work through. Okay, so all those things being said, I have one final request, and this is the notion of taking our shared vision and putting it together. It's something that we call in Klein ISD Promise to Purpose Investors, P2P investors. And what that looks like is this. It involves everyone who is in this room, every adult who is in this room. Matter of fact, I'm going to call out the adults. I'm going to call out the adults. Because what it's going to take for us in Klein ISD or in Sci-Fair ISD or in Spring ISD, or if you're homeschooling, I mean, honestly, what it's going to take for us to raise up kids in the way that we know that we need them to go, is going to take all of us as adults investing in that happening. This idea that we can stand back as a community and say, we're going to let the schools deal with that and then complain about the schools, I am hereby declaring to you, is not a healthy way to help us in schools, right? It's not. It's not. And so we covet, I said earlier, we appreciate and covet your prayers. That's awesome. You know what else we love? We love your kind support as well. We love it. We love it whenever you ask a school, hey, how can I help? And we're able, I promise you, we'll find you a place. I'm thinking about Benfer Elementary School that has these retired teachers and folks who have been out of the system for a while, who come up every one day a week, and they do quilting with 4th and 5th grade students. Y'all, there are places that you can invest using our resources and relationships to make our schools a better place. And I'll be honest, I will not stand here and say we can do our vision without you. Because we cannot. We as schools cannot succeed in the giant task that we have at hand without your help. And so I stand as a proud superintendent of schools in Klein ISD, but also as a representative of schools all over this great state, saying, community, we need your support. We need you to get involved. We need you to check out the website and to respond to things when we need things from communities. And I am here to tell you, we are so grateful because this community has shown what that looks like. You have been role models to the rest of the state. I've come from a lot of different places, and what I have seen here, particularly at Champion Forest Baptist Church, has been amazing. And so I stand before you today. My final word is an attitude of absolute, pure joy and gratitude for what you have brought to the table for our students in Klein ISD. On behalf of those 52,000 students in Klein ISD, our 7,000 employees, and thousands and thousands and thousands of parents and caregivers, thank you. Thank you. We'd love to partner with you in other ways as well. Thank you for allowing me to come and speak with you today. Again, my mama's going to be so proud that I stood in front of a group of Baptists tonight, so thank y'all for that too. Thank y'all for that too. And with that, I will put an end to it tonight. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you.